Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Y'all already know it is the big boss hog, boss dog, Kate Poe through the door. Here with that boy Brody on the hustle. He a soldier. Shout out to all my soldiers, all my veterans out there, man. Veterans Day coming up. We really appreciate y'all for keeping us safe, and that's real talk. This the Mind on Greatness podcast, man. And we here to talk sports and anything. We ain't running for no smoke. Shout out to that boy Mike. Shout out to Peso. They weren't able to make it. But, we're going to keep the show rolling. We're going to keep it going, man. That's what it is. We ain't stopping, man. We keep going. We all gas, no breaks around here. We're going to talk a little bit NFL today, and y'all stay tuned because, like I told y'all, we might switch it up on y'all. You never know. But we're going to start off, man, with a little bit of NFL. So, B, like I said, man, introduce the first topic. And then, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off. But introduce the first topic. Just bring the topic in, B. Let us know something.
What's happening, folks? You know what it is. Mono Granny's podcast. We back in full effect. Give y'all something here real quick. But the first topic we're gonna talk about, like you mentioned already, it is geared towards the NFL. So we're gonna talk about this big trade that happened. Last week. Well, earlier this week. Excuse me. The biggest one to me was Chase Young to the 49ers, and I picked this one specifically because my boy K Poe had notated that on a couple episodes ago again referencing. Y'all gotta be watching. Y'all gotta be tuned in. He notated that. He simply asked the panel last time we was on, what if you went over to the 49ers? And guess what? Chase Young then slid over to the 49ers. So we're gonna let him kick this off since this was his topic he picked. He did point it out. So go ahead and let him know, Capo.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I forgot I even said it. But that shows my mind. That shows my mind. That shows my football intelligence. This was big for the 49ers, especially at this particular time, man. They got a lot of injuries. So adding a pass rusher like Chase Young to be on the other side of Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner and all them, this can catapult that defense to another level. Now, granted, Christian McCaffrey's nicked up, Brock Purdy's nicked up, Debo Samuel's been out. So the chemistry is off because they got the injury bug right now. But Chase Young coming in, this could help in the postseason, right? When they're going on their journey to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, this dude right here is a record. You know what I mean? He could disrupt a whole offense. You know what I'm saying? He has that potential. Him teaming up with being on the other side of Nick Bosa is phenomenal. I'm telling you. Now, I think they did this because they know that they probably going to run into the Eagles. You know what I mean? I don't know if it helps, but it's a step in the right direction. You know what I mean? You never know. Hey, they may catch the Eagles slipping that day. Y'all know football, you may have an off day. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Even the best quarterbacks in the NFL have off days. You may have an off day, and, it may be the 49ers day that day. You know what I mean? But I like this trade. He fits the mode of the defense. This was a great acquisition. And like I said, this will catapult them in the right direction towards winning a Super Bowl. This team has been trying to get back to the Super Bowl for so many years. They went, what was that? 2017, 2018 they went? Or was that 2019? Somewhere around there. It was one of them teams. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Chiefs. You know what I mean? But, they trying to get back there. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Like I said, they got all the pieces. They just got to get rid of that injury bug. So, B, you tell me what you thought about this trade.
So first off, for this trade, I like it. It looks good on paper. Now nobody can sit down and look at that front seven and just hone in and zone in on a Bosa. Now you got a game plan for what you want to take away for your quarterback and your offense to be able to run the ball. Do we want to set up RPOs going towards this direction away from this type of player, or do we want to just try to bang both these guys up, keep sending running backs, extra tight ends, fullbacks, chip blocking with the wide receivers. It makes it hard to game plan around this 49ers defense now. But again, I think they made this trade only for one reason, and you mentioned it. I think they make this trade to basically get pressure on Jalen Hurts, because that's the only team I feel like they really got to worry about right now. I mean, yeah, the Cowboys are kind of getting back in the form a little bit, but at the same time, I still don't feel like they're a threat at this moment until they can put, 3 or 4 together against some of these tougher teams. But again, like I say, this is a great move for the 49ers. I like it. Chase Young fits the mold, as you mentioned. It brings a little bit more youth to that defensive line, as if they're not youthful already anyway. You know, they got studs all over the place at safety. They got solid linebackers. Of course, they got a solid D line. So putting him in there, it just builds more and gives them more aspirations to get back into all the way into the hunt to make it to the Super Bowl. Because you got other teams right now that's putting it together. You know what I'm saying? And they coming. You know, they gunning for it. So, but again, I'm gonna still ride with the Eagles. I don't see them. I don't see them doing enough. You know what I'm saying? And getting back to 100% healthiness, and doing what they need to do to beat the Eagles. So I think the Eagles are the team to beat, but I just got the Eagles going to the Super Bowl this year because they can do it in multiple different ways. But I still like this for this year and moving forward for the 49ers. Hopefully they can keep him and Bosa together and keep doing what they got to do because this is going to be a strong, strong suit to build off of for the 49ers. So, for the next topic, I hate to bring it up. Sad for the guy. He's one of those guys that week in, week out, day in and day out, he brings it all to the facility, to the team, to the field when it's game day. We're gonna talk about the mind blowing injury that Kirk Cousins suffered for the Vikings. Torn Achilles out for the season. So the question I have for you, Capo, is where does this put this franchise? What state does this put this franchise in? Is it complete rebuild mode? What does Justin Jefferson do? Does he stay? Does he try to find a way out? Because now they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a rapport with the receivers and the guy that's in there. So what do you think? How do you think this injury affects the Vikings long term?
I think it depends on how Kirk Cousins returns. Is he the same Kirk Cousins he was, or is he gonna be worse? You know what I mean? Um, I also think Kirk Cousins. I hear his contract is coming to an end pretty soon. I think this hurts him as far as being traded because you don't know what he's gonna be like. A lot of guys don't come back to full form when you hurt that Achilles tendon. So it, it, it it could be good for the Vikings because then you could keep him there, right? But then you keep him there. The other side is you keep him there and he's not who he was, then you stuck with him, right? You know, so I think it just depends. In my opinion, depends on what version of Kirk Cousins comes back. You know what I mean? If I'm Justin Jefferson, it sucks, but you got some pieces there. You know what I mean? You got Addison on the other side of you. You got the tight end. So they got some pieces there, still. It's not just him. He's not just, the lone soldier on that offense. Now, they probably can look to draft a quarterback or maybe look to get a quarterback who may be looking to move. You know what I mean? Um, Justin Fields, I mean, things are not looking like it's gonna work out in Chicago. So if it's not working out, maybe they trade for him, you know, and bring him there and I don't know if they trade Kirk Cousins or keep him there and help him use Kirk Cousins as a way to help Justin Fields be better. That'd be a great acquisition to have Justin Fields with Justin Jefferson and Addison. That'd be some key pieces there. So it's a lot of ifs and fifths. You know what I mean? It's a lot of what ifs and but I think it just depends on what version of Kirk Cousins returns. But we're gonna throw a boomerang and ask you that same question, B. What you got?
So I mean, it sucks, for a guy like Kirk Cousins to have to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Because it was one of those years where it was being talked about. It was rumors. It's being alleged that maybe he was getting ready to take a step out of that door and venture off and try it somewhere else with other franchises. So I mean, it hurts the Vikings in a multitude of ways. You know what I'm saying? We already know teams, quarterbacks this age, you don't want to give up any damaged goods. You know what I'm saying? This also hurts the collateral trade. This also hurts the state of the franchise because now it's like the one thing we had that we could throw at people other than Justin Jefferson, Daniil Hunter. You know what I'm saying? The Ricky Addison or whatnot. Other thing we had we can throw at people to make some room and make some noise out there was Kirk Cousins. Because if you got him healthy, you know what I'm saying. At the end of the season, you get to see where the Vikings go, and you get to showcase. Okay, we still got some a healthy guy in Kirk Cousins, and at the end of the season, you can shop around and see what you can get for him. You can swap him out, maybe get some draft picks. Of course, you can swap him out and get some money back, or you can. There's a lot of different ways you can move with this. But now that he's hurt, it's like everybody has to sit back and wait. Like you mentioned, how does he return? Does he still have this same strong mental mindset to go out there and take beating after beating after beating and still deliver? Or does he sit back and in that mindset where after you have a significant injury like this, I don't know if I should take this step. Is he holding the ball? Is he taking unnecessary sacks? Is he still able to move around in the pocket as well as he used to? So this hurts the Vikings and Kirk Cousins in a lot of ways. But I think the type of guy he is, he bounces back, he finds his way, and for some reason, I think he stays with the Vikings. I think he stays there. I think he continues working with Justin Jefferson and the rest of that Vikings offense. Because the only thing I really think they're missing over there in Minnesota is a solid running game and a couple more O linemen, and I feel like they're there. Of course, they got to address the defense. The defense is kind of falling off the snide, but at the same time, we already know Coach O'Connell over there. He can fix that easy. He can fix that easy. So that's not something I'm worried about as far as the defense. But keeping this core nucleus of guys together is the big part for the Vikings. Because once you lose Kirk Cousins, you already know Justin Jefferson. He going to try to find a way to get out of the door because he's not trying to rebuild and start over. Especially after being with him, Kirk Cousins, for so long, breaking records. You know what I'm saying? They slowly moving up in the books as a duo. So I don't see Justin Jefferson staying there if Kirk Cousins leaves. And that's my take on that. We're going to go ahead and roll into the big three matchups. Again, Ice Cube, hold your water. I ain't trying to take the big three from you. I just like the terminology, you know what I'm saying? This is something that works well in a multitude of ways. But first game we're going to talk about here, we're going to talk about this, how I want to give it to y'all. We're gonna talk about this Dolphins and Chiefs matchup because last weekend, the Dolphins struggled with the Patriots, and we all know the Chiefs took that whooping from the Broncos. I don't even think they scored a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, or they finally scored a touchdown in the last few moments of the game. But anyways, Capo, go ahead and let them know how you see this game going. Dolphins and Chiefs over in Frankfurt, Germany. It's an early game too. How you see this going?
Man, that's a good game. But because they playing over there and it's an early game, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. Now, if they was playing here, I'd be like, yeah, it's finna be 48-41. But because they playing in Germany, the jet lag and they playing early in the morning. Because you gotta think about it. Although they're over there, they're used to our body clock is still over here. You know what I mean? So I see this game. I got Chiefs 21-17. I think Patrick Mahomes will figure out a way. I think the Chiefs will be losing the game, and then they will find a way. It will come down to a last minute drive, and I think that Patrick Mahomes will throw the game winning touchdown with maybe a minute or 2 minutes left in the game, and they'll win 21-17. So, when you look at this Chiefs team, like I said, they got a lot of weapons. They got the Skylar guy. They just re-signed Hardeman. They got the duo in the backfield. They got that boy from Georgia Southern. You know what I mean? That HBCU proud. You got him. You got Hilaire. You got Pacheco. You know what I mean? Of course, you got Travis Kelsey. But let me just throw this disclaimer out there. If y'all show Taylor Swift in Germany, I'm telling you, dog, nobody care, bro. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
Stop showing.
buddy.
Every week they show this lady, bro. He scored. He catch the ball. Taylor Swift, bro. Show Travis Kelsey. Show somebody, bro. It's getting annoying, man. Come on, dog. Hopefully she don't make the trip. I hope she just watch it from TV. I don't want her over there because they keep showing her every time.
Right.
But I just think that the Chiefs defense will also step up. You got Justin Reed managing that secondary. I think that they're gonna be looking to hit Tyreek Hill. I think they're gonna be looking to get physical. Tyreek Hill is a little banged up. I just think that the Chiefs defense is a little bit more put together than the Dolphins. You know what I mean? I think the Dolphins defense, they kind of, I won't say they front runners, you know what I mean, but they're not as fundamentally sound and they don't play together like the Chiefs do. You still see a lot of individualism on that defense when it comes to the Dolphins compared to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs play as a unit, and you and me both play football. When you got a team that plays as a unit, it's a different vibe. You know what I mean? It's a different vibe. It's a different everything. Y'all feel indestructible because you trust the dude next to you. I don't get that vibe from that defense from the Dolphins. So I think schematically the Chiefs are gonna figure out a way to win. Like I say, they're gonna be down, but I think Pat Mahomes gonna throw that game winning touchdown. So that's my take. B, boomeranging back to you. What you got?
All right, for sure. I'm gonna kind of lean towards the Chiefs too as well, simply because the defense, like you mentioned, the defense is there for the Chiefs. I think they collectively as a group come together and figure out a way to fluster Tua, mainly Chris Jones. I see Chris Jones in his face all day long and on this game. I don't think the Dolphins figure out a way to stop Chris Jones in this game. Chris Jones and company. Let me say that Chris Jones and company. I think they figure out a way to flush the two. I think they figure out a way to game plan and slow Tyreek Hill down because again Tyreek Hill did come from an Andy Reid led offense, so he knows what to do to kind of slow the cheetah down. I'm not saying they completely corral him. I think the cheetah still get off one touchdown and he probably have a 90 yard day, you know what I'm saying? That which is not bad, but at the same time it ain't what they doing right now, you know what I'm saying? They on the record to get 2,000 right now. So but I see Andy Reid, you know, coming up with a solid game plan to slow him down. Also coming up with a solid game plan to get Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the rest of that Chiefs offense going. Because last week it was abysmal watching them have to go down and take that L to the Broncos like that. I just didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? The Broncos hadn't been playing defense at all this whole season. Offense been cooking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They've been cooking for the most part for most of the season, but it was inconsistent from the Broncos. But anyways, I see the Chiefs getting it done against the Dolphins. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 24-20 Chiefs. I'm gonna go 24-20 Chiefs. It could be. I want to say it'd be a little bit more uptick in points, but it all depends on what Dolphins offense shows up. Are they gonna be the front runners, or are they gonna play a full offense where they can play 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters? And for the Chiefs, again, like he mentioned, I think if y'all go ahead and put Taylor Swift back on tour and get back focused on football, y'all boys will be able to do all right and get this win against the Dolphins over in Germany. All right, so we're gonna segue into our next game. We're gonna talk about the Bills versus Bengals, and I want you to shoot this one out first, Capo. Who you got and why? The Bills versus Bengals, and I believe the Bills traveling over to Cincinnati.
Man, this a tough game. Um, you got Josh Allen versus Joe Burr. I call him Joe Burr. I'm gonna go with the Bengals, man. I think the Bills are too inconsistent. They don't have a run game. Um, Josh Allen at times don't know what he want to do. I think this offense is still kind of struggling. Some weeks they're when they win, they get a ball to Diggs, right? They get a ball to Stephon Diggs, and then there's weeks where they can't get a ball to Stephon Diggs, and I think it's one of them weeks. The reason why I say that is because the Cincinnati Bengals defense is highly underrated. They are very good defense. Um, their corners from their corners down to their front seven, they are a very good defensive team. They're like quietly good though. They're not like top five good. They just quietly good. They everybody knows their role, and that scheme that they run is phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I got the Bengals winning. I say 31-17. I think that Jamar Chase is gonna have a big day. I think that they're gonna be able to run the ball with Mixon. I just see Joe Burr. Joe Burr having a big game. You know,
Right.
the Bills don't have the lockdown corner. He's out for the season. You know, it's just, and then like I said, they're struggling with identity as far as a team. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they barely beat the Buccaneers last week. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I see this. I see this being one of them games where this is they're gonna lose this game, and it's gonna be a wake up call for them, and this is probably gonna put McDermott on a hot seat. You know what I mean? Because
Oof.
you know you just not getting it done, brother. Ever since Dabo left, your offense has struggled. Your defense has struggled. You. They don't have a run game. I mean, yeah, they got Dalvin Cook brother, but he ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? And I know they got Harris, but he ain't doing nothing. So I think that that's gonna be their downfall. If they had a run game, they'll be able to beat the Bengals. But I think what the Bengals gonna do is tell Josh Allen beat us. They're gonna stop the run and they're gonna say Josh Allen beat us. So I got the Bengals 31-17.
Okay, for sure. I'm looking at this game, and it got a lot of implications behind it. Again, this could be possibly one of your big conference matchups. I don't know. The only time will tell as the weeks wear on, as the weeks go down. Teams are getting into that final playoff push for them. Week 10 is right around the corner, so there's not too much more room for mistakes, injuries, lack of whatever you missing. This is now the time for you to get in position and start moving in position to make the push. And I feel like the Bills are still on an inconsistent climb, fall. So I'm looking at the Bengals right now. While Joe Burrow, he getting into that form. You know what I'm saying? The beginning of the season, he was nicked up, calf injury. They saying, oh, what's wrong with him? He can't do this. It's the NFL. Everybody find their niche at different times. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, Joe Burrow, he didn't find his niche at the perfect time. You know what I'm saying? Last week in the Bay against the 49ers, he showed up. He did him raw. He did him dirty. He put him on his knee, gave him a little pat on that, and then he sent him on the way. He showed him, hey, I'm still here. I'm still one of those guys, so don't play with me. But I think the Bengals are definitely gonna get the Bills fits. The Bills did go sign Rasul Douglas, but it's not a Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White is out for the year. You know what I'm saying? I think Jamar Chase gets his rocks off against this Bills defense. Not only that, I see Joe Mixon. He probably don't light him up for 100, but he still do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? I see he have a productive day in the passing game and the running game. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you mentioned, that Bengals defense is they some quietly tough individuals. They get it done as a unit, just like the Chiefs. Like we mentioned about the Chiefs, they get it done as a unit, and when it's time to make plays, they make plays, and they proved it against 49ers last week. So it's tough. It's a tough game for the Bills. I think Josh Allen, he do a little something. He don't have an awful game, but he do a little something. He shows who he is and why they say who he is. But at the same time, I still take. I'm gonna ride with the Bengals, and I'm gonna say the Bengals win it. I say 31 31-24. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I think this game will be closer than what we expect. So for the last game we gonna talk about, and we normally don't put the Cowboys in the prime position like this because we don't mess with y'all like that. But anyway, since y'all playing the big birds, you know what I'm saying, Cowboys versus Eagles. Fill us in on how you feel about that, K-Po. Who you got in this game and why?
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't fool with no Cowboys. I got no. I really don't like them, but hey, we gonna be fair, unbiased. You look at the Eagles, man. A team that is stacked from offensive line to the quarterback to the running back. They could probably get a little bit at running back, but they got to stud at running back. Receivers off the chain, tight end. D line is killers. Linebackers, they just brought in Kevin Byard, who's from Philadelphia, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
you already know he finna play with a different motivation, a little different energy. You still got big play Slay. You got Bradbury. It's weapons everywhere. And I'm looking at this Eagles team, and I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys with the problem with the Cowboys is their offense. We're gonna keep it. Dak Prescott, you know, So the thing is, yes, the Cowboys defense is very good. They're a top five defense, right? But at the same time, if your defense is always on the field, which I'm predicting, y'all see which way I'm going with this. They finna get ran into the ground. You talk about an Eagles team that can get in that Ferrari and go, or they can get in that old school '86 Cadillac and put some foes in it and be swinging down the street. They
Mm-hmm.
can do whatever.
Yes, sir.
They can slow it down. They can speed it up. That's the Eagles. So when I look at this game, unless the Eagles don't show up, I got the Eagles winning big. I'm gonna say 38-14. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna have so much control over this offense, and they're gonna run the ball, and it's not gonna be one of those games where Jalen Hurts throw for 300 yards. No, he's gonna rush for probably 100, and he gonna have maybe 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns in the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Those 2 touchdowns are gonna go to AJ Brown, right? AJ Brown, they gonna try to put Stephon Gilmore on him. I see AJ Brown still having a big game. They're gonna control the clock. They're gonna run this defense into the ground, and defensively, they're gonna make Dak Prescott beat them. So they're gonna shut down the run. They're gonna shut down Tony Pollard and all that. They're gonna tell Dak Prescott beat us. And I don't see that happening. So I got the Eagles, like I said, 38-14. Big. What you got,
Okay.
B?
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the way. Like I said before, I don't care who the Cowboys playing. I'm not ever gonna pick the Cowboys to win. So whatever y'all do, whatever however y'all view me as, whatever, I don't care if they playing the Giants. I'm taking the Giants. So y'all can chalk that up as a L in the L column or however y'all want to do it. I'm just not going to take the Cowboys simply because I think they're one-trick ponies on both sides of the ball. If Michael Parsons don't go, then his defense don't go. On offense for the Cowboys, if CeeDee Lamb don't go, the rest of that Cowboys offense don't go. And we already know if that got to put the ball up more than 30 times, it's going to be 2 picks somewhere in there. I don't care if it's off the hands of the receiver or just him blatantly not understanding the coverage and he throwing it straight to the defense. So it is what it is. I don't see them having enough moxie to beat the Eagles. I don't see them having enough skill. Well, I'm not going to say skill. I don't see them having enough ticks in their game plan to beat the Eagles. I just don't see it happening. Like I said, I think they one-trick ponies on both sides of the ball, and I think the Eagles gonna give them fits on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. Because, like you mentioned, they just add the safety and with that type of safety, they can play single high all game. And we already know Dak struggles with single high when he has to start throwing in the mid-range game, and they got 4 or 5 DBs floating around in there, plus a couple of linebackers. He gets flustered. He starts seeing things, and he starts throwing it to the wrong team, the wrong jersey. We already know that. We didn't see that week in and week out this week. Even in some of the games they won, he didn't do some unnecessary picks. So I see this Eagle team just being way too much. Again, I'm not going to say it's a blowout, though. I think the Cowboys, they play a little bit better game than they normally do. Finally, against a better opponent, because last week they did have something to build off of. They went and took it to the Rams. They put up a rodeo show on the Rams. I don't know what the Rams was doing. I didn't expect the Cowboys to be able to do that to the Rams, but I think the Cowboys have something to look at and build off of. But at the same time, this is a completely different type of team, like you mentioned. They can flash the keys to the Rory, or they can say, hey, I got this single key to the caddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm stunting like my daddy. I can ride slow up the freeway, and I'm just gonna keep hitting you in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Running the ball. So I think the Eagles get it done. I'm gonna say, Jalen Hurts. I give him 200 passing yards. I say 220 plus passing yards. I say 70 plus rushing yards. 1 touchdown on the ground. 1 touchdown through the air. AJ Brown again, he gives them fits. I think AJ Brown gets most of that 200 yard collectively, easy, But I got the Eagles winning. I'm gonna say I give them 28-14. I give him 28-14 because last week the Commanders kind of gave him a fit, and I don't understand how they did, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's the NFL, not for long, baby. Any given Sunday, so I'm gonna keep it at 28-14. Eagles win that game. So as you see, me and K-Po, we all got the same teams. We all got the same picks, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We would like to have some more. You know what I'm saying? Versus type games, but hey, looking at some of these games, we watching these games. These teams are coming up, moving up, and some the opposite teams are inconsistent or they moving down. So we pretty even on the picks this week. So we'll see how this go. But go ahead, Capo closes out. Let them know what it is, baby.
All right, man. Like I keep telling y'all, like, comment, share, do all that, man. Tell your boss, your granny, your mama, your daddy. Hey, tell them come in the comment section too. Hey, your grandpa may not know how to type. Teach him. You know what I'm saying? Teach that old man how to hit them buttons. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate everybody. We trying to grow this community together. Y'all continue to watch the podcast. It's growing. We got some things coming. We gonna make some little changes to get better. If you got any ideas, hey man, put it in the comment section. We're not opposed to any criticism. We're not opposed. We're not too big headed to receive criticism, or it may not be criticism. It may be a good idea to help us out. So don't be shy or scared or whatever to let us know. You know what I mean? We trying to help this grow. But like I said before, I'm Boss Hog K Poke to the door. That's Brody. We gone.